guys, my name is Chantel. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for hanging out with me today. So today we're going to talk about Ace of Diamond Act 2 episode 9. So this episode was definitely like last week's episode, was more chilled out, and I feel like it was just more to spend more time with our boys and get to know a little bit more of these new first years. So I guess let's go ahead and talk about like our first years, because they were pretty much not so much the main focus, but like they were a bit of a focus, which leads me to believe that most of like Act 2 is definitely going to focus a lot on our first years and our second years, because our now third years, they're gonna graduate soon and they always like subtly let us know a lot this season that, you know, hey, they are gonna graduate. It's time to shift, like prepare everybody to get used to like these new first years that are going to follow like the now second years, if that makes any sense. Like they're gonna stick with them once they're gone. It's just gonna be the first years and the second years, so they're gonna have to work with them now so they can get used to it, not like fumble down, I guess, later down the line. So they just gotta get used to like how people play and how things like work, and getting used to a new team and all that good stuff. It's basically stuff that we already seen like in the past 2 seasons, like once our old third years had like with the past third years graduated. We're just basically gonna see this with a new set of first years. Anywho, I guess let's go ahead and talk about like the 2 people they picked for the roster, which is Yui and Yuki Masashi. I think that's his full name. Anywho, so yeah, that was kind of surprising how quick they picked these 2 first years specifically. But I guess they were the ones showing more potential than the others. So I definitely understand that. So I'm excited to see how these 2 specifically are going to go, because I can't remember which characters, but a lot of the characters were saying, you know, hey, they're a little bit rough around the edges, but they can do their stuff. So they got some high hopes. They're like, with time, they're gonna be pretty good. But one of the moments that do stand out to me the most was when Yui was catching for Furia and he wasn't able to catch any of his pitches. Like he was having a hard time like really adjusting. And I really like that, I believe it was Ono that says this. He's like, well, it's gonna take some time for you to get used to it. Don't freak out, don't worry about it. It took me some time to get used to, so you'll get there. And I thought that was kind of sweet and reassuring, you know, like they're like telling them like, hey, it's fine, we've been through this, we know what you're going through, just take it slow and easy and your eyes will get used to it. So I thought that was really nice that they're giving advice, especially to these new first years. And I'm like, ooh, with like Yui, I'm like, if you think Furia's catches are a little crazy, just wait until Sawamura comes in for you. Which I'm actually more so excited about Sawamura and having like Yui and Koshu catch for him, because people don't expect so much out of Sawamura specifically until like they catch for him and see it like firsthand, and that's when they're like shook. So I'm really excited to see their reactions to this. So it gets me really excited to see that. I'm not sure when it will happen, but I know it will happen because they are catchers. They're gonna have to eventually catch for Sawamura. Like right now Yui's catching for Furia, but I'm like more so excited to see like his reaction with Sawamura. Like it's like I'm just excited. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with these 2 first years specifically. So now let's go ahead and talk about Asada. So Asada is Kuramochi and Sawamura's roommate, and he's been getting up pretty early. And what I thought was really interesting was that Kuramochi said it looks like he is avoiding them for whatever reason. And I'm really interested to see like why Asada feels the need to avoid them. It just, I don't know, like I feel like these 2 are pretty good people, like good characters. Like they're very, very sweet and very understanding. So I don't know why he feels the need to like shy away from them. I mean, maybe he just feels a little bit odd and out of place, and this is definitely something new. So I definitely understand that, because Kuramochi does say that. That's just like one of the things that I love about Kuramochi, is just how observant he is. It's the reason why I love him and why he's my husbando. It's just he can pick up on these small little details that not everyone else sees. So it was really nice. Like he knew something was wrong, but he wasn't gonna go out of his way really and like do anything about it. He's like, I think with Kuramochi, it was more so like, you know, if there's something really wrong, then I'll approach him, but for now, like, if he comes to me, he comes to me. And he does mention this to Sawamura because Sawamura's like, I never get any time to talk to him, which I thought was really funny. It's so cute that Sawamura wants to bond with like the first years and his new roommate. It's really, really cute. And as I said, Kuramochi does mention this, and he's like, what? Like, I understand you, but why me? Which I thought was so freaking hilarious because Sawamura goes and lists like all these things that why the new first years would be scared of Kuramochi, and I'm just like, oh my god, you're about to get yourself killed by Kuramochi. Which I thought was really, really, really hilarious. Sawamura makes it his mission to cheer this first year up in some shape, way, or form. And I thought that was really sweet of Sawamura, that he wants to like go out of his way to like make this new first year, his roommate, a little bit more comfortable around them. So, I mean, Sawamura's always been like that friendly type of character, so yeah, it's a Sawamura thing to do. But unfortunately, this does kind of backfire on him because one of the other first years, which is Koshu, he does not like Sawamura. Like, they are already on the not so good foot. Like, they're just, it's not looking good. They're just off to a rough start, and Koshu goes on and says like, hey, like, can you stop being so annoying and loud? Like, it's just bugging me. I lost my appetite. And like, when Koshu was going off on Sawamura, I was like, who the fuck are you? Like, right now, I'm not that big of a fan. I know people in the fandom really love Koshu, and I'm pretty sure it's within reason. And I'm sure, like, as the series went on, everyone was like, oh my god, he's really good. Like, everyone loves him so far that I've seen. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up loving him. And especially because I always tend to like these type of characters that are kind of a bit of like an asshole and of a jerk at the very start, but as you get to know them, they have like a really, really good heart. It just kind of come off like this. But bottom line, they're really, really good characters and people, and they really do genuinely care, which I saw that with Koshu. He's definitely very observant. And the reason why I'm saying that is just because, you know, with Asada, he was like, he eats all his food like every day. Like, it does take him a little bit to eat, but like he does it like at the end of the day. And which I thought was really interesting because Asada, this also caught him off guard, and he was just like, oh, like he's noticing these things. And it also kind of, you know, in Kosho's weird way, he was kind of standing up for Asada, because I think Asada, you know, this is all, as Kuramochi said, this is probably like really overwhelming for him. And then here comes Sawamura with this ball of energy and like enthusiasm, and you know, Sawamura can be a little much sometimes. So I can definitely see why Koshu would be like, okay, can you stop? Like, please quit it. But as I said, right now I am not that big of a fan with Koshu, because he does seem like I don't know, like, just his attitude. I am not liking it so far, and I really like that Sawamura was like, who the heck is this cocky first year? I was like, my thoughts exactly, Sawamura. I wanna know too. Which, by the way, Sawamura isn't the first one to call him a cocky first year. Miyuki does notice this, especially when they had like a conversation where, you know, he's like, hey, you don't have to eat all your food, it's fine. When I was a first year myself, I put most of my rice into Zono's plate, but don't tell him, which I thought was really, really hilarious and a very Miyuki thing to do, because Miyuki is such a little shit, and I love him for that. I mean, Miyuki has like that little evil grin in this episode, like very early on in the episode. I can't remember for what, but he was like, this is gonna be like a fun year, and it had to do with Koshu, and I think it was about like this whole race thing too, where he was just kind of like giggling and laughing like an idiot, which I thought was funny. And like I said, very Miyuki. And once Miyuki like mentions this to him about like how it was for him as a first year, Koshu's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna eat everything. Like, he's trying to one-up Miyuki for whatever weird reason, and I think that's kind of funny in a way. Especially, you know, when you have Miyuki like enjoying this. So yeah, those are like my thoughts overall so far on Koshu and the rest of the first years. We don't really know like everyone else, but the first years are still trying to adjust and like eat, because like there are like a few first years that are still struggling to eat those 3 bowls of rice and stuff like that, so it's gonna take a while. But we've seen this with Haruchi and Furia and Sawamura. Like they struggled too at first, so you know, eventually they'll get used to it and they'll get the hang of like everyone's routine and get into it, and it'll be smooth sailing from there. Like it's just, we're seeing this all over again, but with like a new set of characters, which is really interesting to see. Like seeing it again, but like with new characters, if that makes any sense. And honestly, that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Ace of Diamond a lot, is that the story is still continuing and we're not just focusing on our old team, like for example, like the past 30 years, and the characters aren't still like in the same class and stuff like that. Like they have moved on already. They're like, we have Kuramochi and Miyuki now in their 30 years, and we have Sawamura, Furia, Haruchi, Tojo, and Kanemaru as second years now. They're senpais now. So it's just, I think that's one of, like I said, it's one of the things that I love about Ace of Diamond, just seeing like how they move on now, and you get like a new set of characters, and it's just like, you don't really see this in like other sports anime besides Yowamushi Pedal, because they did introduce this like the past 2 seasons with, I mean, it's called New Generation, so like we get new characters and new first years and stuff like that. So I really like that, and I wish I really get to see more of this in sports anime instead of just ending like there. Once the 30 years graduate, that's it. But besides that, I think that's everything that I wanted to discuss with this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoy hearing me ramble on, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!